Good morning, everybody. Good morning, my veggie friends and anyone else who's joining me. I'm doing this impromptu brief Facebook Live today to talk about bone fractures versus broken bones. So, over the years, I've diagnosed children with fractures, and parents have said, oh, well, at least it's not broken. Or if I use the lay term broken, parents will say, oh, at least it's not fractured. But I want everyone to know that fracture is the medical term for broken bone. Neither is better than the other. They are equal. So if your doctor tells you that you or your child has a fracture, that's the same as a break. And what that means is that the continuity of the bone has been disrupted. And so there's different types of fractures, particularly for children. There's fractures that involve the growth plate. The growth plates are little bits on the ends of the bones that allow for children to continue to grow. Once the growth plates have fused, there's no more growth. So in fully grown adults and for children who are past the growing phase or young adults, those growth plates are fused. However, for children, we do speak of broken bones or fractures with regard to the growth plate. Fractures that involve the growth plate, all fractures are, serious, but those that involve the growth plate can be more serious because that, if not cared for properly, it can interfere with a child's ability to continue to grow normally. So I just wanted to let you all know fractures, breaks are the same thing. They're treated pretty much the same. It just depends on the type of fracture. So if the fracture is nice and clean, meaning that the bone is still nice and straight, there's nothing that's out of place, it's treated with splinting, and then usually after that casting. If the bone is such that instead of being nice and straight or in line, there's like a bent, doctors will have to reposition that to make it straight so that it can heal in the proper position. If by any chance the fracture is, sorry, I'm holding my phone with one hand, so I can't demonstrate this properly. But let's just say one end of the bone is here and the other end of the bone is like above. Then what doctors will have to do is kind of realign that to put it back in that straight position. Otherwise, you'll end up with a fracture that heals bent and shortened. And particularly if that's, in a limb or a finger, that can be very debilitating. Imagine if, a child has a fracture in the middle of their leg that's not realigned properly, and you have one leg that's going to be shorter than the other. And so that can be, pretty detrimental for the child. So in closing, fracture, break, they're the same. Some fractures may involve surgery. Again, those that, are angled or displaced, those that are sticking out of the bone, those do require other treatments. Some will require surgery. We do a little anesthesia in the area. We realign the bone. Sometimes if, the bone is actually poking out through the skin, that does require surgery and antibiotics. Because we really don't want to get an infection in the bone. Infection in the bone is called osteomyelitis, and that can be medically very serious. People will ask, should I eat something special or take vitamins after my fracture? You're definitely, welcome to take a multivitamin that includes calcium and vitamin D. You definitely want to make sure that your diet is rich in calcium and vitamin D. So plant-based sources of calcium are the green leafy vegetables. Vitamin D, vegan source is mushrooms, and also fortified vegan or plant-based foods. So in closing, fracture and break of the bone are the exact same thing. Neither is better than the other, neither is worse than the other. They're just treated differently depending on the type of fracture that it is. So please spread this word. Please share my broadcast. Please tell your friends about me. Tell your friends if broken bones or fractured bones ever come up in conversation, that they're one and the same. Please follow me on all social media, The Vegan Pediatrician. You can also check out my blog on the veganpediatrician.com. And thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.